Letting people roll in. Just put this on the stories again. People are rolling through. Everyone rolling through. We're going to have a nice interview today. Some live performances too by our guest. Going to just give it a bit, like five-ish minutes for people to come through. So. What's up, kid? People coming through. How's the day going? Perfect. Right after work, the best time. Best time for some live performances. Hybrid coming on soon. Gonna give it another minute or so, and then I'm gonna introduce our guest, and then we're gonna get the interview going today. Fun interview today, guys, and then some performances as well. Okay, kid, that's a good day. That's the perfect entertainment for a beer and a smoke after work, you know. And let's get it started then, everyone. So, welcome. This is Mod Talks, where we do live interviews with music artists in our community and outside as well, all over the world and locally in the Toronto, Canada area. Tonight, we have our second guest for Mod Talks Live. This is a local Toronto rapper and producer, Hibernation. I'm going to invite Hyber to come onto the stream. What's up, Hyber? How's it going there, man?
Good to see you, man. Thanks for letting me in. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely, boss. Thanks for coming on with us. Let everyone in, tuning into the stream. Let them know a little bit about yourself, what you do, where you're from.
All right. So my name is Hibernation. Go by Hiber. What's good, X? I see you in the chat.
That's
Heyo,
what's
I
good.
see you pulling up. Yeah. So I'm a music producer. I love rap. Rap is my passion. I'm from Windsor. Lived in Ottawa, and I just moved to Toronto a few months ago to really make a run at the music thing. So that's why I'm out here. That's what I love to do.
That's awesome, man. So, what is your sort of music journey been like for you? Like, how did it all start?
So I was a really big metalhead in high school. That's where it really
Hmm.
started. My friends put me on like Tool and Pink Floyd, and like they got me into all this proggy stuff, and I always really loved that music. And I got a little bit deeper into the metal scene when I left and went to university. I started attending local shows, and the energy at these local metal shows, it would just be like 50 people, 20 people was just, but it was just such high energy. I really came to love them.
Hmm.
That was like the place I could go to escape from school, to escape from work. And I really wanted to capture that feeling. Like that's what I wanted to give other people when I started seeing those shows. So after I started going to them, I would go back to my home and I'd have like a shitty little guitar, and I tried making metal songs on my own
Mm.
at first, right? But I didn't know what I was doing, right? I had no idea. So I had like a tiny little $30 Kijiji guitar into an amp, into a little microphone, like one of those ones that looks like a stick.
Yeah.
I'll put that right against the amp, and that's how I got my tone. And I'll record metal songs like that, and they all sucked. They all sucked so bad. Like, they're trash.
First one always is, you know?
Bro, it was like the first 30 were fucking garbage. I still got it, man. I was doing crazy stuff because I didn't know. I was like recording two tracks of bass guitar left and right because I thought that's what you did. But
Yeah. So was that like your very first start into like the musical world as well, like with instruments too, or did you already play some instruments before then?
I played some stuff growing up. I played the trumpet in my high school band, and when I was really young, I took banjo lessons.
Mm-hmm.
So I still got so I can play like three or four Beatles songs on the banjo these
That's
days.
pretty cool. That's a flex, honestly.
It was something, man. Like I wanted to do the banjo because like I just didn't want to be like at the time I was such a hipster. Like I didn't want to be another guy that learned guitar. So I was like,
Hmm.
all right, I'll choose the banjo. But the disconnect there was that I did not like banjo music. You know, like I wasn't into bluegrass or country or anything. So I was just like learning for fun.
That's cool, man. So what? So how did that transition go? Like you're talking about, metal is what really got you into everything, but now you're a rapper, right?
Yeah.
So how did that kind of evolve? How did that get into play?
So I'll say hi to Liminal, who's pulling up. What's going on, Liminal? He's
What's
pulling up
up?
in my little Twitch community. Yeah. So I kept making these little metal songs on my own. I gradually got like slightly better at them over time, and eventually I figured out how to sample, like how to actually put drums in a DAW,
Okay.
like more powerful sounding drums, like an 808, like that kind of a thing. Until then, I was using a program called Easy Drummer. Like you
Yeah.
probably know Easy Drummer, right? And so I was doing that. I was experimenting that with the first song, and uh, it just turned into very a hip hop sound. As I was making that song, it was like, oh no, this isn't metal. This is sounding more like hip hop. And then I had the whole thing done, and it just didn't suit like a screamed vocal or anything. I thought I could probably rap over this, so I did.
Mm-hmm.
And that was my first rap song. Was off that first beat. That was my first hip hop track.
Was that something you released out there?
I did. I did. I recently took it down. I recently took down a lot of my old stuff, but it's still around. That song, what was it? That song was called Medicine
Mm-hmm.
back in the day. That song was called Medicine.
Do you do that often? Like I've heard of that of artists being like, oh, sometimes I just feel like erasing my entire catalog and like starting fresh. Is that something? Was that a moment like that for you?
Yeah, I did that for the first time like 2 weeks ago. Like,
And what kind of led to that decision?
my songs got better recently. So what was going on is I really like even back then I really just wanted to get better at music. Like I
Mm-hmm.
just wanted to get better. So the goal I set for myself was I was going to do one song every week.
Mm.
And I did that for about 18 months, where I'd make the beat and release a song. Sometimes it would be somebody else's beat. And that led to just like 130 like kind of shitty songs,
Mm-hmm.
like, and I left them up for a really long time because it was like, this is my development. This is really me all the way up to now.
Mm-hmm.
And, but I just don't want those songs to reflect what I'm doing right now. Because right now I'm working with collaborators that are like really bringing up the quality of the sound, really making it
Mm-hmm.
sound like I didn't think I would in the beginning. So while I'm keeping these tracks, they're hidden. They're hidden. They're top secret stuff. Top secret stuff. You know what I mean?
Okay, okay. That's cool to hear though, because I get that, you've outgrown the sound, right? And you've evolved past that stage. So it's like you want to your music online to reflect where you are right now, right? Your story now.
Exactly.
That's cool. And what is it when you make a song, right? That's a lot, like that's a big churn rate, like 130 songs in like what? Like how many weeks? Like
It was 18 months.
18
So
months. Wow.
yeah.
So what is like your process go into making a song, right? Like what's your thought process like? What's that creativity? How does it flow?
So specifically for the 18 months of song making thing, I attached a lot of significance to whatever the instrumental was. So at
Mm,
that time, I was only making one instrumental a week, right? Like one beat. And that beat would be like it. If it was bad or if it was like not to my standard, I just run with it anyway because I was like, what am I going to make another? Was my mindset at the time, right? So the beat would always be like if it was mid, if it was bad, then I felt like I had to make up for it on the vocal side of things.
mm-hmm.
So that was the pressure. And to me, the beat is always what inspires the lyrics. I never have the lyrics beforehand. Like it always comes from the instrumental. More these days, I'm more like making two or three beats every day,
Right.
So I have less of that extreme attachment, and it's more like whichever one's the best. That's going to be the song.
So do you are your songs like do you have a full hand in like all of it? Like the beats, the writing, the mixing, mastering, like are you all in one type of artist?
For the most part, beat before verses always says X.
Yes, X,
Uh,
that's the way.
yeah. Yeah, I'm it's mostly me. Uh, Occasionally I do hop on another producer's track. It's somebody
Mhm.
that I've had like a long relationship with. Like, uh, I worked with a producer, Mathematician, he goes by, for a long
Mhm.
time. We made a record together called Trepanation that was like super experimental.
That sounds dope.
It was way out there, man. It was way out there. Math is was a very creative guy. He still is. I don't know why I'm talking past tense. We still make music.
Shout out Math, I guess. You're up
Shout out
there.
to you, Math. You're the boy. But yeah, he's called Math because he's a mathematics major, pure
Mm.
math. He learned that. He went to do masters and all that, and he would always send me these beats, and he would never give me the BPM. You know,
It's just
My-
a surprise, eh?
it would always be like sometimes I'd figure it out, and it would be like 80.7 BPM. It would always be something ridiculous, and it would be like the snare would never be in a normal place. He would always be weird. So we'd make that kind of music together and other people like that. But for the most part, to answer your question, it's almost always me. Currently, my good friend Pepper mixes my music,
Hmm.
and he's the boy when it comes to that.
That's awesome, man. It's good to have people that help you out, but that's also really cool that you can do a lot of it by yourself, right?
Yeah.
Has that been like difficult for you to get to that point, or has it always been kind of easy for you to just get into like all aspects of making music?
Oh, I would say it was super difficult
Mm-hmm.
because in those in the initial 18 months, especially, I really wanted to work with other people. I
Mm-hmm.
was desperate. Like that's all I wanted to do. I wanted to be creative with other people. But the only place, and this sucks, but the only place where people were actually clicking on my music, were actually listening to my music, was not Reddit, it wasn't Discord, it wasn't anywhere, but 4chan.org, baby.
4chan, eh? Oh wow. Okay.
Oh God, it was fucking. That was a terrible,
That's
terrible.
interesting because you hear 4chan, you don't think about like the nicest crowd, right?
Yeah, they're awful people, man. 18 months, I would make a song every week. I would post it in the music board on 4chan,
Mm-hmm.
right? In the creator show us your work kind of thing. Super toxic community. They'd all tell me to quit music and end my life, and every week I would do this, you know. I would go back and they'd be like, "You're nothing. You're a piece of shit."
That
And
takes
then
strength, man, to get back and to go back to it and keep going, right?
yeah, well, the trick was the very first, like it was like two or three songs in a row where people started complimenting me, right? And being like,
Mm-hmm.
that was a really cool song. I really love the production. That's when I left. I was
Mm.
like, all right, I got him. It's over.
Goal accomplished. Let's get out of here. Been there, done that, eh?
Yeah, like forget about these guys. Though I did meet some people through that website. I did meet some really cool people. It wasn't worth the toxicity. It was crazy.
We got one question in the chat, and anyone else that wants, to ask a question, go ahead, go in the chat. So Liminal asks, like, how long have you been at it, man? Like,
Oh,
when did this journey start for you?
uh, I guess I really started cracking into it when I was like 20, and I'm 25 now. I'd say that's it. I really started going a little bit harder at it when I was around 23. That's when I was like, got to
Mm-hmm.
be a song every week kind of thing. What's go? I see Pepper in the chat. Thanks for pulling up, Pepper. What's good? He's the mix master. He's the guy, man.
Oh
He's
wow, that's
the
perfect.
dude.
Everyone's coming through, and X's like 4chan journey sounds like a different breed of training art. It really is, eh?
It was so insane. Like the songs that finally got a positive response for them were like weird and dark and like they were not. It's sort of what started me like writing more like
Mm-hmm.
dark lyrics, like because that's what appealed to those people. you know.
I get that. The sound has to change depending on the audience, right? Like you make well, I guess you make music for yourself, obviously, right? But at the
Right.
same time, you got to think about who's listening to this, right?
For sure. Yeah, that's why my music really changed when I came to Toronto and I started performing in front of people for the first
Mm.
time. That was the other really big shift in my music, where I was like, I could see what worked live, what didn't work live, what people responded to. That was enormous.
That's a very interesting point because I've talked to people before, and I've talked to people that they tell me like their music, it's not something you'd listen to like on the radio or anything like that, but it's something that is crazy live, right? When you actually
Yeah.
perform it live, it's because the energy you bring and all the overall entertainment factor is it just elevates it. What was it like for you when you started performing? Like what was your experience like?
Ooh, that was rough. I still have the footage; it's still there. My first performance was at OBJX.
Shout out
Objects.
objects, yeah.
Big shout out to Objects, man. Very supportive. Such a loving, nice community. I went there on a Sunday, the Sunday open mic, and that was completely nerve wracking. Like in the video, I can still see it. Like my legs are shaking almost the
Mm.
whole time. I couldn't, my eyes were closed even almost the whole performance. I couldn't even look at people. I was just so nervous, I couldn't take it. But by the end of it, it sort of gave me the confidence. And I was like, God, I need to go back. I need
Hmm.
to go back. And then I got sort of addicted to it. Now I go all the time to all these open mics.
That's the way to go. And even me, like I've been going to the open mics. I don't perform or anything, but just the first time and you're a little jittery. You're like, oh, I don't know, like, just meeting new people, right? But you go in and it's such a welcoming crowd and community, and everyone I feel that I've met at these open mics and different events are so just friendly, and open to getting to know you and like literally genuinely giving you a chance, in terms of like listening to your music or like listening to what you have to say, right?
Yeah.
So it's super welcome, and I highly recommend any artists out there that might be tuning in too that they don't know where to start with, connecting with others or even just how to perform is go to those sort of events, those open mics, get your foot through the door, right? Just get into it.
hmm Yeah. Like, especially coming off the experience on 4chan and even
Yeah.
Reddit, Discord, Twitch, just general internet. I was expecting something much more insular, but people in real life are nice. Like, that's the difference, like for real.
It's hard to, yeah. So Pepper's like live performing is so hard when you're starting. Also, yeah, Objects is not a strip club. Earlier, I saw that it's a photography studio and event space, and then they put on different events.
So this guy says this because I put OBJX as a location in my Instagram story,
Yeah, yeah.
location sticker, and if you click that, it shows like objects, it shows like their photos, right? All
Mm.
the photos they've taken out of the studio, and it's a lot of women. Uh, so he calls me that. He says he says that about objects.
They take some good photos. Let's just
They
say
take
that. Yeah.
really good photos. Wonderful place objects.
But yeah, it's definitely the way to go if you're trying to get into performing, right? It's hard, but
Mhm.
I've had people like friends that gone up and like yeah, they mess up, and then they start over. But as long as you get through those jitters and you get through and you follow through with it, it's so valuable. What
Yeah.
do you have any like tips for someone who hasn't performed before? Maybe even like what would you say to them?
Thousand man, I asked everybody I knew, every in music for tips before I performed live. Pepper, I remember Pepper's advice. He said, pick one person in the audience and just stare at them the whole time. Just
Mm.
the only person who's giving you a positive response, just fixate on that person. That was straight up bad advice, Pepper. That was trash advice, man. That was that increased the nerves so much. Uh,
And that
I
one person's probably like,
yeah,
like what they're doing, like what's going on here?
it's like too intense, too intense. Yeah, I'd say my biggest advice is just even if you forget the lyrics, if you're messing up, if it's not going well, just finish the song. It's fine. Just go through it, like and tell people it's your first time. Also,
Mhm.
those would be my two big ones.
That's a big thing, right? Is like even in like any sort of like presentation, anything where you have to be in front of other people, like the perfect script, like the way it's supposed to go, but they don't, right?
Yeah.
No one really like most people, if it's just a small slip up, they're not going to care, they're not going to notice, they're not going to remember, right? So
Mhm.
just keep going, like pick yourself back up and keep going, and yeah, it's not as bad as you think, right? If you mess up a little, if it's not perfect.
Absolutely. And I'd say even once I started getting more experience, there were certain shows that just went like horrible. Like maybe
Mm-hmm.
it was my fault, sometimes it wasn't, but like you can't predict that. But once you start doing the really bad shows, then like you're unstoppable. Then like,
What was like a really bad show that you did like that was just a bad experience?
oh, that's easy, man. That's easy. So I went back to Windsor to visit my parents for a little bit. And I was like, I'm in my hometown. Is there an open mic here? You know? So I found one at this little bar. Maybe I shouldn't mention it, but it was a little bar, and sign up was at 10:30 p.m. and I signed up, and I got to perform at 1:45 in the morning.
Mm,
Right, so a lot of time passed, and at the start, I would say the crowd was like 35 to 50 people. By the time I went on, and I was the last person, it was like 12 people.
right.
So I do like a scream rap style, and I was really pushing some pretty yeah. It was Fox Lounge.
He already knows what's up.
God damn it. So yeah, so at the time I was really pushing a few really aggressive songs. So like I'm screaming, like I'm really screaming, like bad technique. I am yelling into the microphone, and all 12 people at that bar were not looking at the stage.
Mm,
Every single one of them, their heads were looking somewhere else. I couldn't find one pair of eyes the whole time I was performing 3 songs.
mm.
And so at that point, like by the middle of song 2, I was like, I'm just here for me at this point. I'm just here to perform and get the experience.
And
So
get it
that was
out there,
another.
right?
Yeah, just get it out there. Just yeah, that was a rough one.
That's interesting, man. That's also a shame too. You get there and then you can't perform. It's so late. Like I know how inconvenient that could be, especially if you got somewhere to be the next day, or like you weren't planning to stay for that long, right? Or whatever
Exactly.
it might be.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, you described your what you do is like it's kind of like a screamer rap, right? You were saying.
Yeah. So like I said earlier, I'm like a big metalhead. I was the metalhead
Mm-hmm.
first, right? And lately I'm started trying to figure out how I can incorporate more harsh vocals like false chords and fries and try and bring that into rap because I've seen a few rappers do it, like Scarlord does it super good, Ghost Main does it, even Extension X. I don't know how to say his name.
XXX, right?
Yeah, he did it a little bit in his songs too. My sort of goal with that is to do that in my music as well.
Mm-hmm.
but also be able to perform that way sustainably. Because artists like Scarlord, the like every song is completely screamed for real with no
Mm-hmm.
technique at the top of his lungs on the record. But then when he performs, it's just sort of him hyping up his own music, right? He's not really like he can't do that. He just can't do that. Period.
You
So my
can't like output that sort of sound at that level so frequently, right? If you're on tour.
exactly. And like especially performing so much when I try and go for those higher screams live, like I throw out my voice for like a few days.
Mm.
So my goal is to really bring sustainable screaming into my music, or sustainable harsh vocals, I should say.
That's interesting. So, how do you go about that, making it sustainable? Do you have things you do that kind of protect your voice, or like do you stop yourself from doing too much when you're practicing, or if you're coming up with songs?
Yeah, it's a few things. Thank you, Liminal. I'm glad you liked Infect Me, man. Yeah, so I'm drinking throat coat right now. I drink throat coat tea nonstop. Uh,
Throat coke. What's that?
so it's like a holistic medicine for coughs,
Hmm.
for like cough and cold, that kind of thing. But I heard a few metal singers talk about drinking it before a set, or they'll have it in a water bottle on the stage. And it feels really good. It feels nice. It feels like your throat's like got a little bit extra. I don't know what it is. Maybe just mucus.
Hmm.
That's pretty fire. Uh, but yeah, I'm learning that the death metal sound, like that scream, it's just not like a true. It's not yelling. It's about like as sustainable as effort, as about as much effort as singing, and
Mm.
you're just pulling a sound from another place. So I'm trying to develop that one. Because live, sometimes like you get excited, you're all hyped up, people are going crazy. What I'm trying to get away from is getting wrapped up in that excitement and going for like real screaming and real yelling, because it just does damage at the end of the day.
Right.
Yeah,
No, absolutely. That's your you got to protect your voice, right? You got to protect your that's your asset in the end of the day, right? That it's super valuable, and I'm sure a lot of artists you see hear so much like artists like cancel their tours and stuff like that because they lose their voice or like they can't yeah they have to take long extended breaks because they push themselves too far. So you
exactly.
don't
That
ever
just
want to
happened
kind
to
of
the weekend here in Toronto, right?
yeah
So
exactly.
yeah, yeah. He's just, and I said he's just, but he's a singer, and that just happened to his voice.
So with the type of sound that you make, right? And you mentioned before that you were in a space where you wanted to collaborate with as many people as you could. And even now I'm sure you do some collaborations, right?
Right.
What's that process like for you finding people to collaborate with? What's the creative process like? How is it different from when you're just doing it on your own too?
So it's always been online. In the early days, like I didn't know anyone. So what I would do is I'd find producers who I could tell like they were just sort of like starting or like middle of their development, kind of.
Yeah.
If they posted a beat, I would just write a whole song to that beat, like a 3-minute song, and then I would send it to them and be
Mm.
like, "Do you are you down with this? Do you want to collab?" I didn't know how this worked. I had no
Yeah.
idea how the whole process worked. So that's what I did. But it bore fruit. I met like a few really solid dudes from just doing that, and I'm still friends with some of them today. And now like some of these guys, they just send me beats.
Mm-hmm.
Like just idly. And when it comes to collaboration, I'm pretty open. Like I just want the song to be good at the end. So normally what I do is I do a run at the whole song, and I record the whole thing. Then I send it to them and ask, "Would you change anything?
Mm-hmm.
Or what's the weakest part of this? What would you do?" And then I just make the change according to their suggestions. If it's something like I feel strongly about, I'll plant my feet. But I'm pretty willing to compromise for the sake of the song. At the end of the
Mm-hmm.
day. Yeah. Roland's pulling up. What's going on, Roland Doja? He's
Welcome, welcome.
another friend from my channel. He was one of the first people that really like was in music and thought something of my music, which was pretty cool. Or maybe just even my personality. But Roland's a sick guy.
That's cool, and it's cool when you find people that you can, that are honest with you, right? And they give you that sort of feedback, like, "Hey, I fuck with what you do," like, I vibe with your sound.
Yeah, that's always insane to me. Like when people started like shaking up with me in real life after I performed, that like blew my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Like when even one person was like, "Great set." Maybe it's something you say, whatever, that was like that's really what feeds me. You know?
What is that? It like what drives you through this whole thing? Like, is there stuff that inspired you to kind of keep go, like continues to inspire you to keep going? Is it particular people that you look up to as well? But what overall kind of drives your journey?
I really just well, I feel like I've really been running from this creative side of myself for most of my life, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I did all the right things, right? I went to university, I got a job that like sucked my soul out,
Mm-hmm.
and I got another one that did that, and I kept like being like music is like this impossible thing that I cannot do because I'm not a special chosen person,
Mm.
right? You know? And so when I started doing it and started accomplishing little songs and saw it get better, that's what really drove me is I just want to make the music as good as possible. I want to make really great songs that people would listen to at the end of the day. So that keeps me hungry. That keeps me making the next one.
That's it, man. You have to have that sort of motivation in the end of the day, and it's got to come from a place of like you do it, for yourself and for the music really, right, like you're saying, because too many people think about just the fame and then the lifestyle that comes with it all and not really about like the work that you got to put in and like the
Hmm.
people that you're making this for, right, that you got to think about as well, or just the, I guess, the love of the journey rather than the end, right.
Yeah, like I think that's why at the beginning when I was doing one song a week and getting super attached to that one instrumental, that was like I was thinking about music in some like still spiritual, mystical way, and then
Mm-hmm.
like the reality started kicking in, and it didn't feel like the floor dropped out. It felt more like, oh, I could do this forever. Like this
Mm-hmm.
is the best. Like that's how I
with
felt.
with those like one song a week things you were doing, right? Were you only posting those on like 4chan and stuff, or were you on like TikTok? Were you on other social medias you were putting it on?
Only for I was doing 4chan and Reddit at the time. At the time, I
That
didn't even have an Instagram.
Interesting. That's the sort of thing that would go really well on TikTok. Like I've been seeing a lot like of people doing challenges like that, and every day they'll, because people they post their beats and then you can stitch it to them, right? You can reply to it and
Right.
then you can rap or sing over it. So that might be something you can try out again if you want to do the same sort of challenge, right?
I've been looking to doing that again because something I actually did about a year and a half ago now was I had a month where I was like, what if I would just go really hard on TikTok for a month?
Mm-hmm.
So for a month, what I was doing was every day I would find somebody that made a beat and was like, rap to this. And I'd rap to it. And every day I'd write 16 bars and memorize them and spit them into the camera on
Mm-hmm.
my phone. And that was a lot. That was too much writing. That was way too much writing for too little response. But when the producer would like my shit and be like, "Yo, that was fire," again, that was that fuel.
That's the way to go though, is you gotta keep consistent, you gotta keep rolling out with content. You know what it is, at the end of the day, it's content is king, right? That's how you get more people to find you and follow you and like what you're doing, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to elevate my TikTok game right now. Try and bring up the production quality of the video. That's really what I'm going for. Maybe, yeah, I don't know. I'm figuring that one out still.
It's one of those things where it's not we're gonna be perfect. You just kind of got to roll with it. And I'm learning that too with the videos that we're putting out and the content we're trying to share, right?
What kind of things does Mod do on TikTok?
Well, mod is mainly these interviews, right? So before we were doing them recorded, pre-recorded, and then just posting on our the podcast. But now we're doing these live, and then we're still getting the videos afterwards, right? And we're still gonna make clips and contents out of that to share. But I want to do more things too to put out there, right? Things
Hmm.
specifically with music artists, like maybe these events that we're putting out there too, like those studio recording jams, right? So
Hmm.
trying to get content from all those sort of things.
For sure. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that event if I can slip in. Whether I can get in or not, I'm glad you're doing it. To
Yeah,
be
man.
honest.
We got some more people rolling through from your stream too, eh?
Yeah, we got BFK the artist coming in. What's going on, BFK? BFK is a legend. I have a song with BFK. I produced a couple songs on his on his EP, Work in Progress. Drew the album art for him. He's a legend, killer rapper, killer guy.
Hey. And next, yeah, to answer you, the event I'm talking about is an open jam networking and artist collaboration day, working with 4 different studios in Mississauga. It'll be a day from like 12, 12 p.m. all the way to night. Uh, Basically, getting 8 tracks out of there, minimum 4 artists on each track. So, an entire day of recording collaboration. It's going to be super fun. And yeah, the event's out right now. It's actually the link is in my in the mod page, and we're just gonna do the post actually today as well tonight. So look out for that, man.
Yeah, really looking forward to that for sure.
Hyber, maybe we can get into some performances right now. Everybody, Hibernation's here. Got some tracks ready to show. One of very interesting aspect of these live interviews is that we can do this live performance style type of presentation for y'all. So, how do you want? Should I share the Discord and
Yeah, yeah. Do you want me to do just like one or two, or do you want me to run through the list, or and save some for later? Like, what do you think? How should we pull it?
yeah, you said you had about 6 tracks, right? You can play.
Yeah, I got six ready. If you're
Yeah, let's do about three. Let's do like 2 to 3. Let's do like 3 of them right now, and then maybe at near the end we can do some more.
all right, that sounds good.
Okay,
Well,
I'm
I'll mute
gonna.
my mic and we'll see if this works.
Okay, cool. I'll mute mine too. I'm gonna share onto. This is the Discord. Y'all can see, right? Mike.
We got no audio. It's not going through. It's not going through.
Oh Lord, no.
It happened. It happened. But you guys saw how intense that
Oh
looked.
Lord, no. No, that was super intense. I could hear it, but no one else did. Do you think we can do? You can just do it like this rather than using that.
Like acapella?
Yeah, like a cappella. Or if
Hmm.
you had the music in your background.
We'll see. Let me see if I can put it through the speakers. This might be a little rough though.
Technical difficulties, guys. It happens.
Hmm. Yeah, I think our best bet is going to be acapella. So this
All
is going to
right,
be
acapella. It is, man.
all right. This is going to be rough. Shame about the reverb.
I'm
But
sorry about that, man. Hopefully, we can figure that out for future ones. But
oh, good. So imagine like a super sick beat behind this track. Imagine it's like a super sick beat, guys. Okay. Stepping on these rodents like a cult performing ritual. Let the prudent information morph into the physical. I am the exceptional. I am the perpetual. Hypertonic looking to dissolve the petty mineral. Watch the broken cogs jam and stop up all the machinery. Caught the moment Sodom and Gomorrah fell to trickery. Salt upon my wounds as sulfur rains upon my enemy. Stylish with my movement so that you can't see my savagery. Frogs falling fast forward, now they're on the dashboard. Bi-colored dyes focused only on the iPhone. 40 like holding dice up the sleeve of a nice coat. Trick these incepids to spread our psychos. Mind goes chromatic, heartbeat skips rows. Step on the seat back and slide up inside those sweet, satisfactory, olfactory rhinestones. Lights up my pores when you sink teeth in my bones. Leftover. We're born and then we get older. The cybernetic stress holder with tech ordered. Jack me into the net zoner. Serotoner, dead stoner. Leftover. We're born and then we get older. The cybernetic stress holder with tech ordered. Jack me into the net zoner. Serotoner, dead stoner. I'm unevolved, a lizard with no brainstem. Excruciating pain is all I ever have been. My lubricated veins will let the needle slide in. The intravenous filled with liquid smoke and violence. Head tilt toward the unsightly things. Give my emotion their reckoning. Blast away from this earth and sea. Living miles of oceans, all signs rings. Impassable, straight unachieved. Seems like these rules are suggestions. Please stop, hook and rope. Rocky face, head scale out some of that running pace. Bee stings swell up the bare forest. Crimes leave discreet. Leave with nectar you stole from the hive. Gotta eat those hibernating honeysuckers weak. I'm hunting through the forest fucking 7 days a week. The setting sun means other carnivores are getting sleep. Meanwhile, I'm fishing trout from out in empty fucking street. Twist your neck right around the both vertebrae. Play hard stance and take your legs. Brace yourself, it's coming fast. With plasma breath, you'll gas. Leftover. We're born and then we get older. The cybernetic stress holder with tech ordered. Jack me into the net zoner. Serotoner, dead stoner. Leftover. We're born and then we get older. The cybernetic stress holder with tech ordered. Jack me into the net zoner. Serotoner, dead stoner. That's my part.
Woo! Okay. That was crazy. That was so sick, man.
It's very weird doing it without the music.
The chat was going off too, though. Honestly, like that was good. Like even without like the beat in the background, like the acapella, like you can feel the energy coming from you, man. When you're rhyming.
Appreciate that. Thanks so much, man.
Oh man, like that was so sick. What did you guys think of that, man? What did you guys all think?
Whew. People tell me after my performances that they like the energy. If they say nothing about the music, they always say the energy is pretty good.
The energy was up there too, and even before, like they were saying they look so raw, right? Like it looked like it was going up. Liminal said I got chills, flames.
Yo, shout out to Liminal. Yo, he makes fantastic music too. He's a crazy music producer, best bass in the game. 100.
Let's go. That was really dope, man. That was really dope. Do you want to do another one now?
I could do another.
Yeah.
Let me think which one's gonna work. I'll try Vimana. The hook's gonna be weird. So all of I'm gonna tell you right now, like 90% of my songs are like 16 bars hook, 16 bars hook, and that's all right. So this song's called Vimana. This is the first one that I produced that Pepper mixed, and it's about a flying castle with a secret society that lives on it. So let's give it a try. Impeccables designed, a million oscillating features in a chassis confines, electrical power harness from a brilliant mind. We killed it, now all of his secrets lay with our high scribes, loyal to only our dimes. Towers of gold, techniques as old as the ancient worm that we'll behold. Follow everything he tells us in the polyglot cold, stone cold all the walls of our aerial home. Vimana flying alone, tear holes through the cloud layer, fly slow over villages and town squares. You look above and you will see that we are not there. The castle bottom only showing normal air due to wizardry and glare. Illuminati couldn't find the body. The rule is second to our own, our porta potty. In the pushback of Vimana, of Ravana, we took it from Kubara. Now we slaughter anyone that comes to bother us. Everybody's in our flying machinations. We gonna take over the nation. Let's go! We will crush you beneath snow peaks with a single toe. Secret society will lie and you'll never know. We have hella range. Our method's hella old. By the time you awake to the crime we have taken, our flight to the stars in the sky, shadow work, grand design that we take from the signs given to us by the worm god gifted with the sight. Dead Sea Scrolls calculated our lives, invade your tabula rasa with complicated contrivances. We will mind control every man, woman, and child. Press your ore into dastardly and glorious styles by the will of the great worm. We will guide all the sheep like a shepherd, cause you are blind in our shine and show your fate worse. Without our hand, your soul is doomed and bro, it ain't worth. Prophesizing every mode of motion, moment in the zone. You think controls in your hands, though it's over your head and cloak. Solar power, flying temple, mystic giant curse. Every animal and being is a slave to our words. Everybody's in our flying machinations. We gonna take over the nation. Let's go! We will crush you beneath snow peaks with a single toe. Secret society will lie and you'll never know. We have hella range. Our method's hella old.
Jeez, let's go. Them bars, them secret societies coming out, man.
Appreciate it, man.
Dude, the screaming elements too are like, even without the beat in the background though, like it's crisp, it's super clean, like the way you do it, man. Like I liked it. It's
Thank you.
good.
Yeah, my goal was to do a scream that could also sound good live.
Yeah, no, it's definitely something where it doesn't like jar you completely, you know, like a lot of screamo, like it jars you, and then even like the mic itself can't take it, right? It
Exactly.
gets all staticky. So I thought that was super clean. What'd you guys think? What'd you guys think?
I appreciate the love in the chat, especially I see you roll at BFK. Liminal, thank you guys so much.
And then what was that name? What was that track called again? Let's go.
That track was called Vamana. It's named after
Mana.
a flying castle from Hinduism.
Really? What was
Yeah.
the kind of idea behind like choosing that, like the name and like creating that one?
It was the beat. Well, I was reading about the story of the flying castle Vamana. Like, I
Hmm.
was interested in like conspiracy theory flying machines from 10,000 years ago, right? So I was like, let's fuck around with this. So I was reading into Vamana, and it's called the Pushpaka Vamana of Ravana. All right. So Ravana is like this bad guy in Hinduism, as I understand it. There's a sect that believes he isn't, but he's the main fucker. And he
Hmm.
just had this castle called Vamana, and he would fly around just torturing people or starting wars or something. The hook has more references to it. Like another thing he got up to, Ravana, was he went under this mountain, all right, and he was just up to no good. And then Brahma clued into this and was like, Ravana, you can't be under this mountain doing evil. I'm going to imprison you under this mountain for 1,000 years by stepping on this mountain with one toe, and you'll never be able to get out. So that's where that line in the hook comes from.
What was the line in the hook? What was it again?
Oh, we will crush you beneath snow peaks with a single toe.
Oh wow, that's so interesting, man. Even X said it right there. He's like, every performance you should do an acapella track because I'm finally taking the technicality of these bars and yeah, it adds to the track. That's absolutely true, man. I'm sure it's great with the beat in the background too. But acapella, you actually get to like get to like hear like the subtle, like, you know, the tone changes fully, like the technicality of what you're doing with your voice. And now that you're explaining the lyrics too and the story behind it, that's a whole new depth to it, you know.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much for saying that, X. I know live it's like hard to hear lyrics sometimes, and I stumble a lot live. Like my breath control is trash, so that means a lot.
That's actually been something where with screamo type of music, you know, and very heavy metal, I've always found it
Mhm.
very difficult to understand the lyrics, you know, and follow what's actually
Yeah,
being said. And that's one of the things that hasn't really brought me to that genre. But I can see myself listening to the kind of stuff you're making, because it is palatable, you know, it is palatable for more
for
people,
real.
right?
Yeah, when I started listening to rap and metal both, I couldn't understand the lyrics in either,
Hmm.
and it was I credit Killer Mike with really bringing me into rap because I started like
Hmm.
really getting into his bars and trying to figure out what he was saying. And once I got Killer Mike's bars, then I could understand all rap.
Killer Mike is great, man. Very conscious rapper. I like him.
Conscious rap, absolute Jedi lyricist, crazy,
Yes,
crazy dude.
absolutely. Run the jewels, man. They run it for real.
Yeah, I think Run the Jewels put on like a whole generation of high schoolers to hip hop if they weren't already there. You know.
Killer Mike himself as a person is so sick too. Did you ever see that show that he had where he would just go do random shit?
Bro, that show, man, where he started the commune, bro.
He started the commune, bro. Like
That shit was
he just he just bought a place and invited a bunch of people. And like they all were like, "So what are
legendary.
we doing here?" And he's like, "Yeah, well, you're part of my commune now."
Dude, whatever that show was prior to the commune, it just became Killer Mike's commune for like the last 2 or 3 episodes, and
Yeah.
that one, flamboyant gentleman who was just, like, wreaking havoc on his commune, it's like, I think about that every single night before I go
And
to
at
bed.
the end, he's just like, "Yeah, I give up. We're done."
Oh, that was legendary, man. They had to do more of those, man. I'm sad that they only did the one. That was
Very
hard.
true. So, Killer Mike A brought you like who else? Like, what other kind of like musicians, bands, and stuff have you really like taken inspiration from?
For rap, Killer Mike's way up there. I'm an enormous fan of Freddie Gibbs. I love Freddie Gibbs. New album was killer. Uh,
Yeah.
I like his Freddie album the most though, because it's like not very conscious. It's just like big 808s and like rapping about cocaine, which is
Mm.
my energy. Uh, Denzel Curry, he's a really big one for me. I really appreciate basic Florida rap in general. I love Florida rap. That's a big one for me. Yeah, so those are probably my biggest in rap. Yeah.
Yeah, Freddie is definitely dope, and Denzel too, man. Denzel Ultimate, you can never go wrong with that. That's like the
Oh, man.
classic. If you guys don't know Ultimate, you do. You just don't know it yet.
That was he came to Toronto like 4 days ago, right? I got to see that show. He ended the show just by he played alt first of all, and he ended the show just by throwing Kamehameha waves at the audience. I'd never
That's
seen
so
that
dope.
before. Like he would like charge him up. He ended that shit with a spirit bomb. He threw a spirit bomb at the audience.
That's so dope.
Very cool show.
I'm like a huge like DBZ fan and everything. My dog's hair, man, he's bothering me.
Shout out to your dog pulling up to the stream.
Shout out to the dog, but so I like to ask some like kind of fun questions in this and everything. Oh, dude, hold up, real quick. Let me get this guy out of here.
No worries, no worries, no worries.
You
Sorry
keep
about
these guys entertained.
No worries. Yeah, Freddie Gang X, I see it. I see it. Yeah, Triple S, that new record. I've been spinning it so much. So much. I'm excited to yeah. And I got to see him too. That was like my first rap show ever, outside of the open mics at Objects and stuff, was seeing Freddie Gibbs live in Toronto just a few weeks ago. That like changed it, man. Like just another rapper who just does the whole thing on stage. Sometimes he had a backing track, but he was always rapping. Always rapping. Freddie Gibbs, I'm saying.
Freddie Gibbs, yeah.
Yeah. Mistave and Triple X. Oh, you're gonna be excited. It's pretty good, X. It's pretty good, man.
Yeah, man. I was saying before, like I like to ask some pretty fun questions, when I get on these with people. So I got some for you. One question I always kind of ask is if you could be like any type of food, right? So this could be like a single ingredient, like a dish, a whole meal. Like what would you be? Like what best describes hibernation?
God, I first thought it's something that wouldn't be eaten.
What what would
You know?
that be?
I don't know. If I could be any food, may I be like the jerky in the back of a gas station. That's what I'm thinking.
Gas station jerky?
Yeah, I'm feeling gas station jerky is definitely the hibernation food.
Why would you be that?
No, no one normal would eat that. No, you know what I mean? Like, that's somebody strange going through an interesting time is eating that jerky, and I guess that's the kind of person that I would like to eat me.
They're going through some shit. They were out of the regular thing they usually buy, and then
They got like a Coca-Cola cherry with a Sour Patch Kids and the jerky.
they're going through some shit right now. They needed this.
That kind of thing.
That's interesting. I like that answer.
Mm,
Another one I like to ask is so if you could be any like fictional creature, right? So this is
mm,
anything from like TV shows, movies, like books, like anime, manga, all the works, cartoons, everything. What would you be? Creature.
man. Okay, well, it's because I'm thinking about it, but I'm reading the Dune books lately. I'm 3 books deep in Dune, man. So
That's
I think
deep.
I'd definitely go for sandworm for sure. I'd be one of the big ones too. I'm talking like a kilometer long sandworm. Absolutely.
Okay.
like the crux of the universe. But like everything comes down to the sandworms, man. That spice that they make. But I'm just underground. You know, my kind of thing. Yeah.
So you're in the corner of the gas station, you're underground, with the worms. You're just like, don't mind me, go away.
I think that's sort of it, honestly. I think that's the real reason I picked sandworms. I see Shabbos in the chat. What's going on, Shabbos? Thanks for pulling up, my man.
What's up? What's up? No, that's an interesting answer though.
Yeah, well, they're also like, I mean, late game spoilers, but there's more to the worms. There's more to the worms. Not just
Okay.
worms.
I haven't actually followed the Dune series or anything. I know they recently released the show as well. They're doing. I don't know if that ended or how that went, but the book series I know is pretty in depth. Right? There's a lot to it.
Yeah, it changes too. Like the movie that just came out, that's the first half of the first book. And the first book is like live, man. It's like crazy, nonstop action, giant
Hmm.
factions fighting each other. People are riding worms. And then the second book is just like chill,
Yeah.
It's just like just like politics and stuff. And the third book, I don't know what this one's going to be, man. It's very strange already. Initially, like we got magical tigers right away, first 10
Oh,
pages.
okay.
So I don't know what's going to go down. I
I
don't
might
know
have
what's
to
going to
tap
go down.
into that. So are you a big bookworm? Is that like what other sort of hobbies and things are you into outside of the music, right?
Yeah, so I've been getting back into books. I took like a full year off reading books, I would say. And now that I solved the puzzle and figured out I could put books on my phone,
Yeah.
now the game has changed, man. Because every subway ride, every like idle moment, rather than putting Instagram up or something, I try and pull up a book or something and read that. So I'm a big reader. Um, I draw as well. I like to draw on stream. I draw all my album art. That's another big hobby of mine, and of course I play a lot of video games. Just wrapped up Xenoblade 3 on the final boss.
Okay, let's
Yeah,
go. That
that
DBZ.
one. Oh
Those
man,
those those games are crazy with the cutscenes and the whole storylines they have going on with them. Like,
yeah, I love Japanese RPGs are basically my shit. Like I want
yeah.
150 hours of grinding. That's what I want out of a video game.
It's fun though. Like I feel you there. I'm the type that does the farming and the grinding and the RPGs. Like MMORPGs always get me, man. I'm always on
Oh
those.
man, are you doing Final Fantasy 14? That's the one that really gets them.
I haven't dived into that one. No, actually, I stopped with games like for a bit ago. Like I haven't really gotten into like PC gaming or anything like that. Aside from like I play chess on my phone and then like some mobile games every now and then.
Oh, are you with the newest chess scandal? Are you following that?
I did follow that a little bit. That was interesting. So it's like the world chess champion.
Hmm.
He forfeited a game against this guy. I forget his name, Nyman or something like that,
Yeah.
and he forfeited because he was pretty sure he's cheating and he didn't want to go against him. But all these theories came out, and the funniest theory was where this guy was cheating by having anal beads up his ass, and the anal beads would vibrate to let him know, like connected to like a computer. It's connected to a computer where it's telling him the best moves, and the anal beads would vibrate to like
Three
let him
passes for
know.
knight to b6. Like
Right.
Jesus. That's the chess world. Yo, shout out to
19
chess, man.
Shout out to Chessman. I'm a huge fan, honestly. Like I've been for a long time. Fun fact: in high school, I was like president of the chess club, but it
No
was
way.
it was three guys. It was me, my one friend, and my other friend. And it was literally
You,
to decide that was like one match between me and my one friend. So like
you know what? Hey, but you built something. That's
we
the
got
important
it.
thing. You built something.
Exactly.
Hmm. For sure.
So yeah,
For
so
sure.
yeah, we got some more people too in here. Maybe we can try some more songs. If you can do some acapella again.
Yeah. I don't have a lot that are like good for I'll try this one. I'll try this one. This is the one that Liminal likes. This is Infect Me.
Okay.
This is my newest song. On the record, on the record, on the song, I scream that with a full voice, yelling the whole time. I just rap it normally live because
Hmm.
can't be done. So let me see.
But so that's interesting, everyone. You definitely want to check this out after the stream too to kind of see the difference of the acapella live to the recorded stream.
Yeah, this is what I say the song that's the most different from the live version. Okay, let me
Okay.
let's see if I can remember how it starts. Yeah, okay. Okay, we're good. Okay. Little startled, hope the acid was a hoax. Sword from the stone, shifted underneath my clothes. Settled older cases, but the space is more unknown. Atomically personified with each and every note. Caught awoken in the summer when I can't sleep. Enough is spoken on the subject of a whack beat. Attack plutonic, radiate those who do not believe. Decay and decompose the object 6 feet deep. Rattle these bones as the gulls pick flesh. Iron cage will let me see the sun but never rest. I remove the treasure, only corpses in the wreck. Detach and let the fish and rodents have what's in the chest. Salt so rotted that the flies don't come. Worm slow mo, chew my eyeballs numb. Several generations worth of sediment scum. Slime before and after goo for many years to come. Let it all out, let the exile breathe. I don't need a moment, just a place where I can scream. Tell me what I am, another part of the disease. Infect me, infect me, infect me, please, infect me! Infect me! Infect me! Infect me! Caught up in battle at those neurotoxic elements, curdled in a cauldron filled with anthrax experiments, vivisected by staring back without his eyelids. Scalpel took his organs for the betterment of science. Life pulse gone cold, low vein, blood flow, Wi-Fi nodules connect to the soul. Right slow quill goes page after page full, stranger than fiction, a seance in code. Talk to me, scar your words upon the walls. See you in dreams, it's about time to show. Loathsome ghost with an uncapped skull. Hold this note till your spirit dissolves. Battle feeder, eat the scum. Treasure lost, battle won. Sink through the mud, shovel deep in the guts, fish around, bring it up, a message from God. Let it all out, let the exile breathe. I don't need a moment, just a place where I can scream. Tell me what I am, another part of the disease. Infect me, infect me, infect me, please, infect me. Infect me. Infect me. Infect me. Yeah.
That was dope, man. I could feel you bringing something out with those too. Like
That's also my shortest song.
that was a. It's catchy though. Infect me, man. I can see myself like playing that over and over. Honestly, like
Appreciate that, man, for real.
the almighty sandworm, man. You got a new name on here too.
Chavez, man. If you're into Dune, man, we gotta talk, bro. We gotta talk, dog.
That's dope. So that's your newest song, right? That you released.
Yeah, that's my newest song. Yeah,
And what was like? What was it?
no, go ahead.
I was just saying. So what was it like making that song? Was there a bit of a story behind that one too?
Uh, Not much of a story with that one. And it's unfortunate the beat's not here because that was really the most important part. I followed this producer called Decap. He's pretty
Mm-hmm.
well known. He makes a sample pack called Drums That Knock, and he had the song called Puma with this amazing 808 in it. Like an 808 I'd never heard in my life with just these three hard hits in it. And I thought, I actually have that 808 because I have his sample pack. What if I just copied that 808? And yeah, that's how I built the beat out of it. And the way it was going, it just turned so intense. Like the
Mm-hmm.
level of energy in that beat was so high to me that I thought the only thing I can do is like scream over this beat. I couldn't rap over it.
Mm-hmm.
I have to scream over this beat or it's going to suck. So that's where that came from.
That's
And
cool, man.
as far as like emotional, like the place of the lyrics, uh, I was in a pretty negative place when I wrote it. So to me, that song is just more about feeling like scum, feeling gross, feeling like you're nothing, and there's no resolution to that in that song. You feel disgusting, and you're trying to work on something.
That's
That's sort of the gist.
interesting. Is that with a lot like a lot of your songs is like how you're feeling in the moment like translates into the song as well?
I think mostly I try to write mostly subconsciously. I don't really plan a song beforehand with like rare exception. Like Vamana, I planned that beforehand because I was like I need to describe, a flying castle for this long. So like I needed a game plan. But for the most part,
Mm-hmm.
I just write like 4 bars at a time and I make sure those 4 bars tie to each other. And then whatever happens next, I don't worry about. Usually by the end the whole thing feels cohesive.
Comes together, right?
Yeah.
That's sick. X, thanks for joining us. Says the guy dip out. Um,
Mm.
uh,
Thank you for coming through, X. I appreciate the support, man.
do you have one more you can perform for everyone?
Uh, Maybe I could do telephone. I'll try my track
Telephone.
telephone.
Okay,
It's a
okay. Let's
classic
try
song.
that. We'll do last track here for everyone. Telephone by Hibernation.
Yes. All right, let's go. Left alone I'm feeling fine, free to scale a mountaintop for chilly vibes. Stuff it full of sour notes, misplaced rhymes. You're looking at another freak, a wretched guy. Unapologetically a skeleton with paper folded ribs. Whispers writ upon him with a microscopic pen. Set a match against him, watch the fire burn the skin. It's been a lot of time since I've exposed my marrow to the wind, so I say honestly, without a lie. Feel it when I look inside your shitty eyes, accepting every piece of me, not blinking twice. Should I be thanking thee? I might cry. Think I may put the ash from all my bones inside a tiny box. Shove it down inside me, seal it with 100 locks. Crawl my way back to the cave and hope the pain will stop. It seems the telephone is ringing even when I turn it off, so I say, let it go. Let it go. Telephone. Born a loser. Living that dream, holding on to secrets from a diabolic scheme. Unroll the scroll I keep in my jeans. Writ are the rules to solve what I see. Hand inside a puppet, move to make it talk. Standing on a soapbox, not a single thought. Fingertips are tingling, I'll write another crock. Cause when I got something to say, I say a whole fucking lot. So I say, let it go, let it go. Telephone. That's the song.
Bars, bars,
Appreciate it.
holy.
That was an older one, so I rapped slower back then.
That was good though, man. Like even that being an older one, that means you've had these bars for time, man. Like that's sick. That
Appreciate
was
it.
those some sick lines, honestly. That made me like my head turn a little. Like, whoa, what did he just say?
That was one of the first songs I performed. That was awesome at that day at Objects. That was one of the two. And then
That's
Pepper
very
remixed it and
cool.
made it way better, by the way. Pepper's version of that song is crazy.
Okay. You know what? That was interesting too. Liminal just said, like, not gonna lie, the acapella does a lot more justice. And I feel like it's very interesting hearing the acapella version of these songs right now. And I feel like maybe a lot more people would get some value out of that too. You know, you have your fully recorded version, but then you have an acapella version as well. And then you pick up different things with both of them,
Mhm.
right? Because there's different things that are being kind of spotlighted, right? When you're doing acapella, then when there's the beat in the background too.
100%. You know, it's all you at that point. You really get to see where what came from the beat, what came from the artist, that kind of a thing.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Mhm.
That's been sick, dude. All the tracks you performed today, like so far, have been like amazing. I really fuck with them all, honestly, and everyone here in the chat too has been going off. I do have like kind of ended off. I always like to ask, as an artist, obviously you've gone through the journey. You've come up with obstacles and things that have come in your way that you've had to overcome, that you continue to overcome too. What are some things that you'd want to tell other artists out there, right? Like, what's a music art that's just starting out, or maybe at the same level as you? What sort of advice might you have for that sort of person, right? What would you want them to kind of keep in mind?
What I mean, they've definitely heard it before, but you just keep doing it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like people, like nobody's gonna listen. Maybe people are gonna tell you that you're bad or you suck. Don't do it for them. Don't do it for them. Just keep doing it. Just keep doing it for you because there's I found nothing more fulfilling in my life than doing music. So
Mm-hmm.
this is the most important thing.
That's awesome, man. That's something to remember too. Is like once you find that, like stick with it, because there's
Mhm.
very little things in life that are going to give you that sort of feeling, that are going to give you that sort of fulfillment. Once you find it, like stick with it and go all the way, right? Keep going, like you
For sure.
said.
100%, man. 100%.
Awesome. Liminal, thank you so much. Appreciate you following, and anyone else in the chat too. If you're coming in, you haven't heard about us. Mod Talks, we're Mod Inc. Merch on demand. We're creating this marketplace for music artists to sell merch stores, and around that, we're building a community of artists, creators, and fans all around. So we have a Discord group. I'll put there's a little Discord link in the chat right there that you can join in. But we're doing these interviews every Monday live on Twitch, and then you'll get them on YouTube and everywhere else after that too. And we're also doing events. If you're local in the Toronto, GTA, Ontario area, we're doing open mics. We're starting to do all sorts of other events in the next few months. So tap in, tune in, and check us out. Hibernation,
Mhm.
anything you want to let people know, any new releases, anything they should check out, and maybe put your socials and how they can find you out there too.
Yeah, good idea. So I also stream on Twitch. Maybe I can drop the link in the chat.
For
Oh,
sure.
oh, figure this out. Can I figure this out? Can I send it to you? Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
wait.
Send it over to me.
Yeah, I'll send it to you. So that's my Twitch channel. I used to stream a ton. Now it's more like 3 or 4 times a week. I draw, I make my beats live. Sometimes I play games. That's the stuff. I release a song every 2 weeks. I got one coming this week. It's not done. So we'll see what happens. And you can find that on my SoundCloud. And if you want to stay up to date with Hibernation, if you want to see where I'm performing, what's going down, where my new releases are, you can peep my Instagram. And I always put if I'm performing, check my story. All the info's there.
You heard it there, folks. Check out Hibernation. So Hibernation the rapper on Instagram. What's your SoundCloud name?
SoundCloud, I'm on there as oh God, what is my SoundCloud name? I think I'm on there as Hibernation the rapper, all one word.
Hibernation. Okay, same on, and then same on Twitch as well. Hibernation. Hibernation raps on Twitch.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
all nice and different for each of them. So
okay. Okay, here's the proper SoundCloud in the chat. So yeah, everybody, thanks again for tuning in. Hibernation, thanks for coming on Mod Talk Session 2 live interview and performance. That was amazing. I'm glad the acapellas were still awesome. I'm sure everyone was kind of blown away in the chat. Even though we didn't get the beats for it, I appreciate hearing the acapella version because it's a different perspective than you normally get, right? Now that's
thank
going to
you.
make me now check out the songs and stream those, and I'm sure it's going to be a different experience than if I were to just hear it, on their own, right?
I appreciate the kind words, man. This has been really fantastic. Really, just a ton of fun. If there's any Toronto artists watching this right now, this is what you want to do. This was a blast. Thank you so much for having me on.
Appreciate it. Yeah, everybody else, tune into what we're doing. We'll be back next week, Monday, 5 or 6 p.m. We'll figure it out. But every Monday, we do these live Twitch interviews. So check in and tap in with us. Have a wonderful night, everybody. Peace.